could say, you're going to be chair for as long as you want to be chair. You're doing a really great job. So, over the last couple of weeks, I had the opportunity to go to Germany along with my friend Heather Brown, who some of you may know from the Young Democrats of America. She's also worked for this state party. And we went there to talk with folks and work with folks on a party building project. And of course, everywhere we went, people wanted to know, well, what's the secret? How do we bottle whatever it is that Obama has so that we can do that here in Germany? And we said, look, President Obama is a once-in-a-lifetime kind of candidate. He's not someone you can sit around and wait for. He's not someone that you can just replicate on a whim. And if you want to know how to build a party, how to build a party organization, then you should look to the state of California. And it gave me tremendous pleasure to be able to brag about what happens electorally when you focus on party building. That starting in 2010, when Democrats were getting their asses handed to them from coast to coast, we broke that red wave right here in California. That we've made history. And we've done it because we don't just look at our campaigns as ending the day after the election. We look at campaigns as an opportunity to build our party. And what is remarkable is that we're doing this party building despite really incredible odds. It seems that every time we turn around, they're passing some new crazy law to make it even harder to be a political party in California. That's right? I mean, this top two primary system, which has 7, 8, 9 Democrats, you know, in a to the death cage match all the way through November. And I've been loving what my sister from CTA, Sandra Lowe, has been saying throughout this meeting of the executive board. She's calling on us to be a little more disciplined.
That's right.
And to think about how it might be fair and it might make us feel warm and fuzzy to just say, hey, everybody who wants to run, run. But that's politically suicidal. We have to get smarter. We have to get more disciplined. And there's no level of politics where it's harder to build a party than at the local level, at the so-called nonpartisan level. Right? This is the level of politics where we can have knockdown, drag-out fights over who's the best Democrat and come to a conclusion, have them answer our questionnaires, work to hold these people accountable, work to support them, and it doesn't keep anybody else from running. Somebody else who just checks a box and says they're a Democrat can stay in the race and confuse our voters and split our vote and split our base. It's very, very difficult for us to operate as a party at the local level, and yet we do. And we do very successfully. What I've decided is going to be my big priority as secretary for the next year is to help facilitate a conversation about how the state party can help our work in our communities on these nonpartisan elections. How we can be more strategic, more scientific, more data-driven, and more aggressive. And as an organizer, and in a room full of organizers, I don't have to tell you that the first tool that you need when you want to organize a new group of people is that you got to have some data and you got to have some lists. So together with our partners in PDI, we are for the first time collecting and assembling our own list that we will own as a party of local elected officials. And think about the things that we can do with a list like that. First of all, we can do an assessment of how we're doing on our own goals, our own progressive goals and values of parity and justice and equality when it comes to gender balance in our elected officials. First, seeing this list, we can see, and not in an abstract way, but in a clear way, are we electing women enough to represent and be representative of our population? I think the answer is no, but we're going to be able to see that. We're going to be able to see if our younger candidates are struggling and need more support. We'll be able to see, hey, where were our candidates born? How many of them were born outside of the United States or outside of California? We're also going to be able to begin a program of communicating as a state party with those elected officials and talk about working to hold people accountable. The first step is to know who it is that we need to hold accountable. But there's a lot of work that we need to be done. PDI has started the process with a giant data dump into the Mo of elected officials all over the state, but we're going to need your help in the county level and the local level to perfect that list, to let us know, for example, who's been endorsed, because we know all the files are going to tell us is who's a Democrat and who's in. But you folks on the ground know who the Democrats who are our friends are, right? So we need your help in figuring that piece out. We need your help in figuring out if there's duplicates. We need, and most importantly, and this is the real, where the rubber meets the road in party building, most importantly, we need your ideas about how the party can support your organizing and your activism on the ground. Because we are, in the CDP, we're not just trying to sign you up to be an electoral army. We don't just need soldiers, we need leaders. And we want to engage you in the project of electing people, holding them accountable, and transforming our society to be more just and more sustainable. And we need your help in that conversation. So today, you'll notice in your program, in the schedule, there's this mysterious workshop with Secretary Daraka Larimore Hall. The subject matter is building this database. So especially if in your counties you've already started making these lists, especially if you have ideas about how we can build a better link between the state party and our local efforts, especially if you're a big data geek, whatever, please come to that workshop, join this conversation, and together, from the bottom up, we're going to be rebuilding California. Thank you very much.
Now it is a real pleasure to introduce a member of the Assembly,